Welcome to Beyond Hormones, the Business of Wellness, the podcast for hormone and functional medicine providers who want a thriving, predictably profitable practice and maybe a little less stress along the way. Hi, I'm your host, Jody Lane, and I've worked with lots of clinics in marketing, sales, and business development, and I have seen what works and what doesn't. And here's what I believe. Hormone and wellness care should be available to everyone who wants it. And while providers know the medicine, many struggle with the business side of their cash practice. And that's where I come in. See, this podcast is here to share real strategies, real stories, things you can implement in your practice right away. So I am so glad you're here. Come on, let's go. Hey everybody, Jody here. Today's episode is really close to my heart because it's not just about building a business that works. It's about building a clinic that actually helps people heal. I am lucky enough to have sat down with Dr. Mark and Tandi Hechler, a husband and wife team who have created something super rare in healthcare. They have made a practice where their patients feel safe and heard and supported and not rushed, not processed, and definitely not treated like a number. And here's why this matters so much. You see, when you run your clinic this way, your patients get better results and your business naturally stands out in a crowded, noisy market. So if you're a provider who wants to grow without losing your integrity or your relationships or your joy in medicine, then pay attention. Listen to this conversation. I'm so happy to introduce you to Dr. Mark Hechler and his beautiful wife, Tandi. Well, welcome to the show, Tandi and Dr. Hechler. It's such a pleasure to see you guys. It's been a while.
It has. Thank you. We're happy to be with you.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, why don't we start first by just sharing, who you are, the name of your clinic, where you're located, and what services you offer.
Okay. So the name of our business is Revelation Health and Wellbeing, and we are located just outside of Kansas City on the Missouri side. We service people both Missouri and Kansas, and we offer metabolic maintenance and bioidentical hormone replacement.
Okay, awesome. And you guys have a little bit of an origin story, don't you? Like why, tell everyone, like, why did you start this clinic and how does it fit in with your lifestyle?
Maybe, I guess we can take it back a little further to kind of show how we got together. We met at a medical mission trip over in Uganda, of all places, living 30 miles away from each other. I had to meet in Uganda.
Oh my gosh,
And
that's so cool.
from there, our interests became a little more connected, the best way to say it. And so once we got together, it's like, okay, well, let's go to a football game, things like that. So we got to know each other a little bit better and went back again and, became engaged and got married. Well, we are in a not advanced age, but we're in an older bracket, if you will. So we're not young spring chickens in our 20s anymore. So we'd like to try to keep ourselves active and promote the health revolution, I guess you could say, between us so that we can continue to enjoy our lives as we get older. And so that all sparked with Tandi becoming more interested in trying to get her health more centered by seeing functional medicine. And she started down that road. And
then it didn't take long for Mark to hop on the train and really get interested. And the practitioner that I saw was trained through WorldLink, which is where we met you. And so we then did our training through WorldLink and started down that path and just really didn't look back.
Right. Yeah. So it's because we just obviously been in practice for over 30 years and you get to a point where just frustration is, it's like, okay, we have all these people that have all these problems, but yet all their labs are normal and there's nobody in sight that can actually really do the legwork and find the root causes. And so it started out as, it's like, okay, well, let's get into this a little more. And it's like, it became more fascinating. And truly, it's like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of patients that I have missed over the years that could have had these kinds of benefits from looking into their health causes. So
yeah, that makes perfect sense. So since the podcast really does focus around like the business side of a hormone practice, why open your own? Like, why not go join somebody else's? There are other functional medicine doctors. Why start your own? And as a caveat, like, why together?
Well, I think part of the history is that Mark has been in his own private practice since he started practicing medicine.
Day one. Yeah.
So the idea of going into our own practice was not,
scary at all.
and doing it together, as we met on a medical mission, we've worked together since the moment we met. That wasn't too much of a stretch either.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I work with my husband too. So
Yeah.
I get it. And there are two different kinds of couples that can work together and couples that definitely cannot work together. So
Yeah, we actually enjoy it.
yeah, that's so cool. And the fact that I think it brings you closer, like when you really can work together, it brings you closer, especially if you can find that balance where you're like, okay, we're not going to work today. Yeah.
And the balance is trying to turn off the switch and shut it down at 5 o'clock at night. Then not talk about it all night long either.
Yeah, definitely. So since you have been your own boss, basically, since you got out of medical school, do you think that it takes something special for a provider to be an entrepreneur as well? Or do you think that really anybody can do it if they have the desire?
I can tell you right now that not anybody can do it. That's for sure. It takes a lot of legwork and a lot of effort and a pretty good business sense, because I think everybody that's out there in the healthcare field, they've been trained in how to identify health related problems and, how to treat those. But the problem is that not everybody's got the training or the background or even the interest in pursuing the business part of that. And I think that's certainly something that takes kind of more of a unique person and certainly a unique group, even more so.
Are there anything that you did when you first started or you continue to do to develop those business skills? Or is it really just like you've got a gut feeling for business?
A lot of it's truly gut feeling and intuition with it, but yet we still find ourselves seeking help and advice from individuals that do that part of the business. And that's pretty imperative too, because not everybody, including ourselves, know how to completely market what we do. We know we can help a lot of people and we know that we can make a huge difference, but we got to reach those people. And that's sometimes the hard part.
Yeah, it is. I've been in marketing for over 3 decades, and every day it's a learning process. It is.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's continuous.
The more congested that social media and the internet becomes, it's just really, really difficult to resonate with those people. So one of the ways that I'm sure you do try to resonate is with referrals, right? So you built your practice in a specific way. What would you say is unique about your practice than other hormone clinics?
Well, we actually just had a patient come in the other day who had been with another hormone clinic, and she relocated to the area, so new to the Midwest. And, we told her, your first appointment's going to take 2 hours. And she came in and it was funny because when we got finished with our 2+ hour appointment, she was like, I did not expect this. This is not what I have experienced. And I think the biggest thing that puts us in a different category is that we are really not just looking at hormones. We're looking at lipids and glucose and, all the metabolic markers. Exactly. And we're talking about that from a perspective of this is the normal range, but, this is optimally where you could be. So it's all working together. Obviously, all the systems work together. And so by helping people understand where their body's at in all of these different areas, it all helps hormones too.
Yeah. You got to address the lifestyle and all the little parts that go along with it. So we can give this person estrogen or that person testosterone or progesterone or whatever, but it still boils down to the fact that, there's lifestyle changes that need to happen. And, if you're going to treat the body like a whole, then you'll be successful.
Yeah. So that brings to mind a question. So, we've been doing this for a while now. And when I started in the hormone industry in 2015, you didn't have to do much to take care of a patient, right? The patient was so happy to find anyone who knew functional medicine or hormones. They didn't really care about the experience. Now, there's a lot more education. People are searching for what they can do to help themselves. There's online options. There's everything under the sun. What do you think about those online options, those kind of like franchise cookie cutter approaches versus what you guys do? What do you think the difference with the patient experience is?
Well, I think anytime you can get in the room with someone face to face, you have a better opportunity to make connection and really understand what's going on with the patient better than on an online market. Yeah, it's
so much more personal too. That's really the key. And we have a lot of patients that come in to talk to us. We're here to navigate your health and help you with your hormone optimization. But there's so many people come in that just need somebody to talk to. I can't tell you many times that people come in here, we feel like we're marriage counselors sometimes to them. So, but they just totally spill it.
Yeah.
And yes, on our consult table, we have a box of tissues, because it is not uncommon for people to have that much emotions when it comes to needing the help and wanting to have somebody to help them. They're just hungry for it.
It's
So I
really
think
impressive, like the two of you too, because even though some people are willing to do that, not all. So you create a very open and vulnerable and safe space for patients to share, and which you need to for you to really help them, right?
And I think it's really a plus for our situation, because we have a female and a male perspective from both sides of the fence. Whether we're dealing with a man or a woman navigating their health, they relate to that. For instance, I may ask them questions, but yet they're answering to her, or vice versa. So it really helps to have that communication and connection.
Yeah, that's great. So looking back, let's go back to the beginning when you started the practice together. What were some early things that you did that you're happy you did because it really pushed the practice forward? Could be in marketing, could be in operations. It's something that
Definitely marketing.
Okay.
Definitely marketing, because I'm glad we did that to try to identify how and where to reach people, whether it's trying to find the right Instagram content, or whether we're trying to find the right Google ads, or, to get the right search words, and you name it. So, but I think trying to find somebody to help navigate that initial setup is pretty important.
Yeah, I think the fact we started our podcast pretty early on, and that was really helpful to just kind of lay a groundwork of information. And it's not like we have a lot of downloads or it's super popular, but we do have people that come back and they say, "Oh, I've been listening to your podcast and now I'm ready to move forward."
Wow, that's awesome. Let's stop for a moment and give you a chance to plug the podcast. So what's the name of it and how can people find it?
Yes, it's Rev Up Health, and it is on all the places where you would listen to a podcast, and it's also on YouTube.
Okay, and what are the kind of guests you have on? So in case any listeners want to go and check it out.
Yeah, so we have other physicians. Sometimes we have other health and wellness practices. We just recently did an interview with the owner of Any Lab Test Now, which is self-directed lab testing.
Yeah, we've
Very
got a
cool.
financial advisor on too, because if you're going to live longer, you got to have the money.
Yep.
But yeah, it's kind of fun to kind of identify things that people have an interest in, and kind of run with it and give our perspective, So it's not easy to find time to do all the things that we want to do. And so we try to hit the high points for most folks and try to stay out of the weeds most of the time too.
With SEO, with search engine optimization, the keywords that you mentioned, that's eventually not going to be the way that search is conducted. It's all AI. And so long form content is really where you're going to start showing up in the search results. So you guys are like ahead of the game, but you're doing something else with your podcast too, to make sure that patients listen to it. Don't you send out emails too?
We do. We send out, every time we release a new podcast, we send out emails to our list and invite people to listen. And we actually do get a lot of people that will say, "Oh, I got your email. That's good."
Great.
It's always good to know that what you're doing is working.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, because in marketing, especially in the space that we're in, positioning yourself as the authority is the key to really like being somebody that they choose you over somebody else. And what better way to be the authority than to talk for an hour?
And it's really, we kind of try to center it around just being an educator for them, to let them know what's out there, what's available. But they also get to visually see us. When I be comfortable sitting across from you guys at a table discussing my health matters. So, and that helps too, for them to see us advance.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So we've worked together in the past. I've been watching and I noticed that your website has definitely evolved. Your website's fantastic. So what are some of the things that you've done in the last couple of years that really have improved your website, and is it working?
Yeah, we actually have made a couple of different changes. When we started, we had a longer URL and we have pared that down. So now it's a shorter URL. We did a lot of work around SEO optimization with our blog posts. And recently, we just started working with a company called The Grand Digital, and they are doing fantastic at helping us. I mean, one thing that we didn't do out of the gate was work on Google reviews, and they have really helped us to just ask the question, would you mind doing a Google review? Which doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but we
Yeah.
totally missed the boat on
And we forget, you got to play that game too. So,
Absolutely. You're not alone. A lot of practitioners feel uncomfortable asking for the review because you know that it's for you, but it's not just for you. Like when the review is there, you're helping somebody that is on the fence maybe about coming to a functional medicine provider, and they're giving them a reason to.
Right. And I think too, this line of work is really so much based on word of mouth, and a Google review is a form of word of mouth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Is there anything that you do systematically to ask for that review that you could share with people, or is it just when you remember you ask the patient?
We have been putting it into our visit summaries that we send out. So it's just right there at the bottom with a link to do that. So that's been our latest strategy.
That's awesome. Okay, cool.
And you just physically have to ask them. I mean, people are very willing to do it, and they really love sharing their story and how you've helped them. And it just gives them a little bit of pride in being able to do that, I think.
That's great. I'm glad you guys found a good partner. So those are the things you did well. So now, is there anything that maybe early days that you misstepped or didn't do as well that you wish you could have a do-over?
No, nothing. We're perfect from the beginning. Everybody's perfect.
I'm not perfect, that's for sure.
Right. Yes. We are definitely far from perfect. When we originally started our practice, the idea was that we were going to do this in a barn on our property where we live. We renovated the barn. We were going to have our practice there so that bring down overhead and have it right there close to home.
Yeah.
And
it's
really,
beautiful space. It sounds bad, but it was a beautiful space. It is very beautiful space. But yeah, it soon evolved to the fact that was not going to continue.
Right. So that didn't work out just because of regulatory kind of more red tape types of things. But then we were able to find a space not far from where we live that is also beautiful in its own right. We've got fountains and gardens and walking trails and a golf course right here. We're on a historic property and it's lovely. So that was a big transition because we put a lot of effort into getting that space ready and it didn't work out. So we had to pivot and it turned out even better than we imagined.
And it's not just the fact that the patients love it. The patients do love it. And it's the views up here in the air where we've got a 360-degree view of the surroundings up on the 5th floor. So it's really an ideal setting. It's not just about the patients. We enjoy being here. So it puts us in a space to be able to be more comfortable and to be more creative and to be more fashioned to care for them and their health.
That's so great. And I've seen it because you put it on your website. So it is what I saw. It looks gorgeous. But you just really said something. I asked you earlier, like, what makes you a good business person? And this is a clear sign of being a good entrepreneur is that something happened. It wasn't great. You didn't get upset. Well, maybe you did, but you didn't let it stop you. You pivoted and you moved forward and you got something even
better.
Extraordinary.
Yeah.
Things happen for a reason, and it sure did.
Yeah, totally. So let's talk about the your patients for a moment. And we talk a lot about like the things we did well, things we didn't do well in this podcast, but we all do it for one reason. We do it for our patients. So can you share, maybe without giving away names, like a patient story, a great transformation story of people that you've helped?
Oh, we have had so many fantastic outcomes for our patients.
Yeah, it's just so much fun in general, just so much fun to see somebody come in needing help, not getting answers from anywhere else, coming in, getting answers. And then we see them back and, 1 and 3 months later, and their lives are changed. They're so much clearer. Their libido is better. Man, to see just the change in their body composition also is so much fun. It's not a matter of how much if it's going to be, it's like, how much is it going to be to an extent, but to think of one person.
Yeah. I mean, just every day. And the fact that they're so proud that they've done the hard work to make the progress, that's really probably the best thing. It's funny because patients come in and they're all nervous, like maybe it's not going to look the way they want to see it. And then we can sit with them and walk through it, the numbers, whether it's lab values or body composition, and see, look where you were and where you are now. It's just incredible how much you can accomplish in 3 months.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
incredible.
So you're starting to see like real differences in people's lives in about 3 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's just the starting point.
And that's what they don't understand. It's like, we're just getting started and you've got this much change.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not only that, I mean, most people don't even think about the long-term effects of what's going to happen 15 years from now. You see all the big changes occur in that first year, but it's really changing inside of your body of what's happening in the future.
And we do talk a lot about that with our patients, as far as these changes that you make now are going to dictate what happens 20 years down the road.
Yeah. Do you guys do any kind of like seminars or any workshops or things where you share this information to larger groups, or is it more one-on-one?
It's mostly one-on-one. We have done a couple of collaborations with a local gym where we did some education on recovery and the importance of recovery.
But yeah, it's all individualized, but that's been a discussion we've had, that we're only reaching one person at a time, reach more than one person at a time, and I think that's where we've had discussions about, okay, we're going to change this up. We're going to get another floor in this building and we're going to have group settings and we're going to just go at it. So it just depends on how much time you got.
Yeah.
And, but we'll see. We'll see how that moves forward, but that's going to be a progress. I think we'll move that direction too.
What else do you have in store for the future? Like, where do you guys want to be in 5 years? What do you want your practice to look like in 5 years?
Oh, wow.
For starters, I want to be retired from my previous traditional Western practice and ear, nose, and throat trained. So I still do that part-time, and
Okay.
I'm working harder now than I have been ever.
But he's able to do it.
But I enjoy it so much. That's the thing. So it's so much of a benefit, but to see where we're going to be.
Yeah. I mean, we would really love to have more tools for our patients around stress management and movement that is specific for aging well. So really looking at those functional, physical things, have work on some osteoporosis specific and mobility specific movement classes.
Yeah. But having some seminars around osteoporosis, menopause, exercise, movement, nutrition. I mean, there's a lot of things I would like to do. It's just a matter of, okay, we got to sit down and get this organized. So
Yeah. Sounds like this additional floor, half of it's going to be seminar space and the other half is like a little mini gym or a little movement space.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think it's kind of a convertible space. So I think we can use it for both.
Okay. I definitely know if anybody that can do it, it's going to be the two of you. Because when you put your heads together, you guys really make things happen. So there's new practitioners coming into this space all the time. So many more people are getting tired of traditional medicine and moving over. They're not as afraid of cash pay practices as they used to be. What would you advise somebody new getting into this space, opening up a clinic?
I think one of the best things that you can do as a new practitioner is find your network of people who can help you along the way, who you can ask questions of. And truly, what we have found is that in this space, people really do want to help.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough of us to help all the people. So
yeah, this is one of those underserved areas of healthcare. And there's so many people that need that assistance and that help. And when you find practices that have figured out how to do that effectively and efficiently, Number one, those types of practices are usually swamped and you can't get into them anyway. But at least, if you're going to be going into a practice, if you're starting up this kind of a practice, reach out to those practices, those groups, and keep that contact with them. Keep that collaboration open. We're in a fortunate situation where we've got good friends in that space. So it's nice to be able to reach out to them and have that opportunity to touch base with other people.
That's great advice. I've asked that question to a lot of people, and nobody has said create a circle of advisors. And what you're saying is not even like people outside of the medical industry that have business experience. You're talking about your peers, people who have been there, done it, and can, because it's true, it is a very collaborative industry.
Yeah.
Everyone's in it for the same reason, which is just to take care of people.
And it's, from a cash pay standpoint, that is nothing to be scared of because people are tired of traditional healthcare and insurance-based Western medicine, and it's awful. And to just have a cash-based situation where, we can focus on where your real problem is and order that specific lab and treat according to that, for instance, is so much easier than asking permission and getting pre-approval and pre-certification through an insurance.
True.
So,
And with deductibles the way they are these days, it's mostly a cash pay business anyway, even if you have insurance.
exactly.
Yeah,
You're just paying more for the same
Yes.
thing.
exactly.
But
Well,
cash pay
it's
is so
been-
much better.
It's been so much fun talking to you guys. I have a little tradition that I stole. I mean, I'm going to be real honest. I stole it from my favorite podcast, Stephen Bartlett, who does the Diary of a CEO. And what he does is he asks the last guest a question to give the next guest, but that person doesn't know who's going to be asked. So I have a question for you. That's not for me.
Okay.
That's great.
And the question is, what is something that you have learned from or in another industry, so not medical, that you use in your current hormone or wellness business?
I would have to say, for me, it's what I have learned from marketing, the marketing industry, and navigating social media, and then using it in this.
Can you
And
share
this-
specifically what you learned?
It's a lot of different things, but it's evolving
Complicated.
because it changes all the time. But you do have to seek out the education and learn those things. We have some friends who are also entrepreneurs in the wellness space, not in medicine, but getting together with those people and trading advice on this is what's working for me in social media and this is what is not. Not that social media is the end game, but it's a place where you can just kind of put yourself out there a little bit, where
Share.
people can get used to seeing you and your brand recognition. So I would say that's probably the thing that I've used in growing this practice.
Okay. I mean, you're doing all the things you talk about when it comes to marketing, all seem to come from two things. One is sharing your knowledge, sharing freely without concern about being paid. And the second is collaboration. And if there's anything that the listeners can walk away with right now, it's those two things. And when you give of
Yep.
yourself, it comes back to you.
It absolutely does.
That is so true.
So true.
The law of circulation,
Karma.
Exactly. Inside our bodies and out.
right?
Well, guys, thank you so much for being on the podcast today and sharing your story and sharing as authentically as you do with your patients with, people that may want to start their own clinic as well. So thank you so much.
You're
Appreciate
so
it.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Beyond Hormones, the business of wellness. I hope that you're walking away with fresh ideas and real strategies you can use to grow your practice with profit and purpose. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow the show so you never miss a conversation. And if something you heard today resonated with you, do me a favor, share this episode with a friend or a colleague. It's one of the best ways you can support the show, and it might be exactly what they need to hear right now. If you want even more tools and support, go ahead and head over to acceleratedmedicalpractices.com. Until next time, keep doing the work that matters. Your patients need you, and I am cheering you along every step of the way.